Gathered friends, listen again to our legend of the Bionicle. Hello everyone, it's Luis, and here on Amaja-Nui Tales, we will be diving into the diverse characters of Bionicle. Today, we'll be unveiling the insane ruler of the hellish realm that shared his name, Karzahni. Karzahni was an emotionally volatile, malicious and maniacal tyrant. The madman enjoyed abusing the Matoran trapped within his realm, rebuilding them into weaker versions of themselves and replacing their masks to tarnish their identities. He hated his brother, Artaka, and would destroy or attack anything that belonged to him. Karzahni had the ability to scan local areas with his mind and, although physically strong, relied heavily on his mask power to fight his opponents. Karzahni had the skills to rebuild himself, repairing any physical damage he took. This ability also allowed him to change armor color. At one point, his armor was ebony and gold, but he later switched to purple and green. Karzahni wore the Kanohi Olisi, the Great Mask of Alternate Futures. This mask had the power to project visions of alternate or hypothetical timelines into one or multiple targets. As his weapons, the Titan wielded two burning chains. When Karzahni was mutated by Pit's mutagen, his body's shape changed, his mask fused to his face, and he became a water breather. While mutated, he was still able to use his mask power and carried a squid launcher. These mutations were later reversed. Karzahni was, originally, created by the Great Beings, along with his brother Artaka, during the early years of the Matoran Universe. At some point, the two brothers competed in physical combat for possession of the legendary Mask of Creation, a contest which Karzahni ultimately lost. As a result, Karzahni was instead given the Kanohi Olisi and was tasked with repairing and disciplining damaged or defective Matoran before sending them back to their homelands. The Great Beings gave the second island they created within the Matoran Universe to Karzahni to serve as his base of operations. Karzahni, in his ego, named the island after himself. Despite his best efforts, his repairs left the Matoran that came to him weaker than before. To hide his failures, he gave them weapons to compensate and sent them away to the southern continent. When the Turaga from other islands noticed the Matoran were not returning, they stopped sending them to Karzahni. Angered by this, Karzahni blamed the Matoran for his failures and trapped the remaining Matoran within his realm. From there, the Titan began twisting them to his own designs and isolated his realm from the events of the outside world for thousands of years. Eventually, Karzahni met 6 Matoran travelers who were escorted by his Manus crabs. The madman ordered the 6 to switch their masks for ones chosen by him. One of the Matoran, Jala, did not comply. Because of this, the Titan gave Jala a vision in which he had failed to sacrifice himself for his friend Takua, and the Makuta had taken over the island of Amaja-Nui. Terrified by the vision, Jala soon complied. Karzahni kept one of the Matoran, Hali, the chronicler, behind, and sent the rest to work. He asked Hali about the world outside of his island. Though Hali mentioned the impending death of Amaja-Nui and the Matoran Universe, the madman did not believe her. After discovering that the new arrivals were collaborating with another Matoran to escape in toa canisters, the Titan confronted them and gave them all a horrible vision based on their own fears. The vision manifested as a possible outcome of Amaja-Nui's death, which finally convinced Karzahni of Amaja-Nui's existence. Staggered by this revelation, Karzahni did not notice the 6 Matoran travelers had already escaped. Afterwards, the mad tyrant plotted to claim power for himself and take control of the Matoran Universe. Assembling an army of Matoran and Manus, he left the island and pursued the 6 escapees. Following them to the island of Voyanui, he witnessed the Toa Inaika and their battles with the evil Paraka. After assembling an army of Manutri birds, he plunged into the waters of Mari-Nui and was mutated. Karzahni soon came across Toa Lesovic and a Matoran, Sada, and decided to attack them. Although Lesovic was quick to recover, the madman targeted Sada, giving the Matoran a vision of the inhabitants of Mari-Nui perishing in the sea. The shock from the vision forced the two opponents to retreat. Later, Karzahni overheard a conversation between Toa Matoro and a Maxillos robot about the powerful Staff of Artaka. Angered by the mention of his brother, the Titan attacked and destroyed a reanimated corpse in the process. The madman fought Makuta Pterodax, who was inside the Maxillos robot, and called upon his Manus to aid him. Karzahni then gave Pterodax a vision of Mata-Nui's awakening and the Makuta's punishment for their treachery. However, Karzahni soon lost the upper hand and had his mind broken by Makuta Pterodax's powerful telepathic abilities before being magnetically tossed away, utterly defeated. The wounded Karzahni hid in a cave while Lesovic, Sada, and another Matoran, Idris, tracked him down. He gave Lesovic a vision of his Toa team being alive to distract him, but was then lured out by the Matoran and thrown into a trap which prevented him from escaping. Later, Karzahni was teleported out by the Order of Mata-Nui member Botar and imprisoned in a water tank on the Order's headquarters on Daxia. The Order attempted to interrogate him for information, but was unsuccessful due to the Titan's mind being in a vegetative state. He was later transferred to the prison called the Pit. After the defeat of Pterodax, Karzahni was broken out of prison and moved to Spherus Magna, where his mutations were reversed by the Great Spirit Mata-Nui. Despite his freedom, he was ultimately stabbed and murdered by Velika, a great being in disguise. His body was left at the bottom of the Iron Canyon, with his mask shattered into pieces. Suspecting the Titan had been murdered by Lesovic, Toakopaka and Toapohatu moved the body to a camp to be examined by Toatahu.
If you'd like to see more tales, check out our channel and our videos. Thank you so much for watching. This is the way of the Bionicle.